everyone, and welcome to the 12 Days of Christmas, day number 9. I can't believe we're on day number 9 already. It's getting toward the end. I hope you've been enjoying this series, but today I'm doing another baking video for you, and I'm going to be baking easy Christmas tree brownies, and that's what they are called, easy Christmas tree brownies. But don't let that fool you, because while they are an easy recipe, my beginner tip is to leave yourself ample time to make this dessert, because I was going to make it last night and found out that you need to let the brownies cool for an hour to an hour and a half once they're done baking. So I did not have enough time to do that last night. And while I have more time this morning, the day that I'm recording this is Thanksgiving, so we do have to get to our Thanksgiving plans. So I wanted to get them in the oven and baking and give them time to cool before I got all ready and everything. So you'll see in the close-ups that I'm still in my pajamas. All I can suggest is leave yourself plenty of time when making this recipe, because you can't do it in a hurry. The things you're going to need for this recipe are a brownie mix, half a cup of oil for the brownie mix, 2 eggs, and 3 tablespoons of water, all for the brownie mix. You're also going to need an 8x8 pan, and we're going to line it with a tin foil, then spray it with cooking spray. You will also need green food coloring, vanilla icing, a bowl to mix everything in, a Ziploc bag, Christmassy sprinkles, and candy canes. The first thing I'm going to do is line our pan with the tin foil. You also need to preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Check your brownie packaging, as temperatures may vary, but it said for this size pan to do it for 325 as opposed to 350, so we'll see how that works out. So now that's lined, and it says to spray it with cooking spray. I'm guessing this is just to ensure that they definitely do not stick. Now that that's done, we can mix together the brownies per the brownie instructions. So first off, pour your brownie mix into the bowl. Next, we will add the half a cup of oil, then our 3 tablespoons of water. Now we will add our 2 eggs. Now we're just going to mix it all together until it's combined. So now that's all combined, and we can pour it into our pan. Because it's on a low setting, we're going to put it in the oven for 50 to 52 minutes. So, here goes. So the brownies baked, and I put a toothpick in to make sure that they were cooked all the way through, and they've been cooling for about an hour, so I'm hoping that they are cooled by now. Before I cut them, in order to give them a little bit more time to cool, I'm going to mix together the icing with the food coloring, and it says to use approximately half of the tub of icing into a bowl, and then to mix in the amount of food coloring that you want to get the desired color that you're going for. So that is the next step that I'm going to do. reached my desired shade of green, so I'm just going to set that aside for now. The next step is to unwrap the candy canes and pull the little bent part off. It says to cut them, but I know I haven't done well with cutting candy in the past. That's why I went for the mini candy canes as opposed to the regular size ones, because with them being smaller, I'm hoping that they'll be easier to break and more the correct side for adding to our brownie tree. Also, I don't think I mentioned where this recipe is from, but I will link the website down in the information box below. Also, it says this recipe makes 12, so you're probably going to need 12 candy canes. Duncan has decided to make a cameo. He's just making sure everything's going well. Now that the candy canes are opened, let's see how easy it will be for me to break it off without hopefully wrecking it. They might have a little bend to them, we will see. Ooh, that one was good. Just gotta know how to break it in the right spot, and you'll be good. And Duncan wants to take over the show. Now that those are ready to go, I would suggest going with the minis because I think it would be a lot easier than the big ones. You don't have to cut them. Hopefully they'll still be long enough to be our tree trunk, but we will see. Now for what I'm hoping is not the most challenging part, where I have to cut the brownies into the triangles. So I've just gone over it and hopefully I will cut them into the right shape. Get a little bit confusing as to making the triangles, so we've used chopsticks because it's what we have to kind of follow the recipe's picture and get an idea of where to cut, because I was getting confused and it wasn't looking like triangles. So now I've got the visualization to know where to cut, so that's something I suggest to help yourself out. Now we're going to remove these from the pan and put them onto a plate. Okay, so none of them came out to be perfect triangles, even with trying to be so careful about it. And I think possibly it could be the type of brownie I got or the way that they cooked, because they were kind of stuck together and difficult to cut. But you know what? We're just going to go with it. Some of them will be trees. Some of them will just be festive Christmas brownies, because you might as well work with what you have, especially when you are a beginner like me. So now I'm going to attach the candy canes to the ones that look tree-like and then just do my own fun decorating. So now what it had said to do is put the icing in a Ziploc bag and then cut the corner. So I'm going to attempt that and see how it works. Working too great. I think the hole I made might be too big, but as I said, we're just going to go with it and make them look Christmassy. Well, that certainly was interesting. I think the brownies I had were either too fudgy or too crumbly because they just weren't holding up. I would just spread icing on them and they would just fall apart. So it's a little disappointing, but I don't know if I'd call this an easy recipe. It is easy in ways. I mean, the actual baking aspect is easy. It's just when you get to making them to look like trees, that is not so easy. And that's just all part of the learning process with baking. Some recipes are going to work out. Others, unfortunately, like this one, don't always work out. But that's how you learn and get better. And that's why I still consider myself very much a beginner and do these Baking for Beginners videos for you. So please let me know if you try out this recipe and have better luck than I did. I'd love to know your tips if you have any. And even though it may not look pretty, I'm sure it will still taste good. So let's find out. does. It tastes like a delicious frosted brownie. So be sure to give this recipe a try if you think it sounds like it would taste good, or if you think you can make them look like trees better than I did. Thank you for watching this 12 Days of Christmas Baking for Beginners video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you in a couple of days for another video. Bye!